All right, so I'm on my way back from the auto parts store, or from the paint store. I just bought this primer, and we're gonna see if it's compatible with that black crap paint I sprayed down. I think I made a big mistake by doing that. I think what happens is I do everything really well and perfectly, and then I try to cut corners on like one thing, and I end up paying the price for it. Hopefully I will someday learn my lesson and stop doing this, but it didn't even really dawn on me. I bought this Rust-Oleum paint right here, and I just sprayed it on there just to see what it looked like. Now, I probably could have painted everything red and then at the end taped it and sprayed that stuff down over everything. It would have been fine. But as you guys just saw, I sprayed this primer down and it got really gross and wrinkly. And I thought, oh, it must be the primer because this stuff's been dry for 2 days. However, now I'm thinking that it's not the primer and that whatever gases are in this thing, whatever chemicals are in this get reactivated by anything you spray over it. So if I had sprayed everything red and then cleared over it, the same thing might have happened. So what I'm going to try doing right now is experimenting with this new primer and maybe even some of the red paint and just see how it reacts with this stuff. I might have to take all this black off, which will suck. I hope that's not the case because that's a lot of work. Okay, so it appears that it was the primer after all, or maybe it wasn't the primer. Maybe that primer just isn't compatible with this Rust-Oleum crap that I put on there. But this primer that I got from the actual auto body place, this seems to be sealing it up just fine. So I'm not seeing any alligator cracks or anything like that. So I guess I got away pretty easy here. Although this stuff is $25 a can, and this was the cheaper stuff. I bought 2 cans. The first 2 cans I picked out rang up at like 80 bucks or something. So yeah, still expensive, but I'm glad I'm not gonna have to remove all this black with solvent or something. What really sucks most about this is I needed body work on the doors, right? That's fine. This front piece was a brand new piece of aluminum. It didn't need any body work. Now it needs body work. Now I need to remove paint and sand and fill and blend and feather edge and all this other crap. All I did was make a lot more work for myself. All right, I was able to seal it in mostly. I still have to do a little bit of, it's not cracking anymore anyway, so the primer seems to have sealed it. I sanded a lot down, sealed it with the primer. There's a few spots here I'm gonna have to touch up. Keep doing primer and sanding. There's just those 2 spots. And over here is looking a lot better. Still kind of weird, but it's built up quite a bit of primer, so I should be able to sand most of that down and get it to look pretty smooth anyway. Hopefully. Decided it was dumb to paint this thing, then do the body work, then paint it again. So we're doing body work here. Drilled a couple holes. I'm gonna hit this out with a slide hammer and ground it down. Gonna use some dolphin glaze. We'll sand that down, and then once everything's primed and ready for paint, I will attempt to paint it. All right, I thought I was recording that whole time, but I wasn't. Sorry about that. Probably getting pretty boring by this point anyway, watching all the time lapses. But the body work is done. It's not perfect. I suck at body work. I don't have the patience for it. But anyway, it's ready for paint. So I'm gonna let this primer dry overnight. Tomorrow morning, I'm gonna come out here and I'm just gonna hit it lightly with some 600 grit. I'm gonna spray a little bit more primer off camera right now, here and down here, because it needs to be filled a little more. And then it's paint time. So then tomorrow I will paint it. All right, new day. Primer's been drying for about 20 hours. And time to paint this thing. Wish me luck, because I am not a good painter. But I have to first sand with 600 grit. Well, I'm really happy with it, but now the rest of the trailer looks like crap. So now I wish I painted the whole thing. Look at this faded black there. I don't even know what the hell happened. It's all sun oxidized or something. So I should have painted those. I should have painted the whole thing. But you know what? I'm pretty happy with the outcome. I just wiped some of the dust off of the quarter panel here, and the match is almost perfect. I think the break with the door gap is gonna fool the eye enough to where nobody will notice that it is a slightly different shade, but very, very close. Honestly, I think just some wax to darken up the quarter panel would make it look perfect. All right, so definitely needs some wet sanding. The rest of the car needs to be buffed to get rid of the scratches. That should make the color match a lot better. It's really showing up on camera, especially from this edge, but then when you get in close, it's still kind of not as bad, but you can see how it's kind of polished here and dust here, and that makes it a better looking match. So once this is all buffed, should be pretty close, and this all needs to be wet sanded. All right, I got the molding on all wrapped around. Just have to put one little small piece there. And I'm gonna do the window now, or attempt to. It's a pain in the ass with the molding, but I'll get it. All right, that was a real pain in the ass, but I got the window in. If I'm gonna tint it, I have to tint it on the car because it'll never survive, the tint will never survive me putting it in and out of this thing. It's such a pain. But it's in, it's waterproof, at least that part is. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. I appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate the support. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe below, and stay tuned for more videos coming shortly. I try to release one every week. Thanks.